Familiar but unexpected voice from the back silenced the mischievous mayhem in the class. It was the rebellious chief who wanted to recite his essay. 70 students were in shock. The lowly teacher, Mrs. Robin, had no choice but to oblige, when suddenly all the students started chanting, "We want chief! We want chief! We want chief!" Fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, and those who aspire to be the chief, join me on the journey to become the distinguished leader the chief was. Small in stature, smart in wisdom, Chief was the most mischievous student, led the most notorious gang in elementary school. With that imposing presence and posture, even the most intellectually and charismatically gifted student, yours truly, admired the chief as a leader. The topic of essay was, "What is life?" The chief posed as if he were a president giving State of Union address. He looked around. Mayhem subsided. He said, "What is life?" "Pomegranate." All the eyes were glued on him, ears tuned in. A very long pause followed. Everybody was drawn into the speech, waiting to hear more. Deep silence was only broken by the tick, 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 tick sound of the clock on the wall. Mrs. Robin said, "Come on, get on with it." The chief said, "That's all, folks." Suddenly, the whole class burst into laughter. Laughter turned into another mischievous mayhem. We thought it was a practical joke. She thought she was taken for a fool. In fact, it was a sincere plea. Mrs. Robin got angry, yelled, "You rascal, get off my face," and chased him out of the class. We didn't think about it much at the time, but felt it in our hearts a few days later, as the chief was no longer among us. We spent somber moments, days, and weeks, but did not dare question the institution as to what happened to the chief. No more mischievous mayhem. No more rebellious chief. What happened then, as funny and heroic as it was to us as kids, brings a true sense of awakening. Why don't we believe in others and ourselves for who we are and the great leadership qualities we possess? The chief, currently a NASA scientist leading sophisticated space discovery missions, reaching for the stars, probably did not intend to create a scene. He may have acted on his naivety, his pure fascination of the fruit, or his untapped intelligence that surpassed others, including Mrs. Robbins, who acted hastily. What do you suppose fascinated the chief so much about pomegranate? Was it the sweetness of the fruit? Its capability to enhance human metabolism, increase respiration rate, and raise blood pressure? Was it the emotionally intense red color that conjured up a range of seemingly conflicting emotions from health and passionate love to courage and determination? Or was it the random structure of all the tightly organized seeds? Could the structure of seeds represent to him the bond in a family that whether or not he lacked that caused him to act in a certain manner? Think about how the structure of seeds may have represented to him the structure elements in life. Elements such as integrity, discipline, and commitment that we have to adhere to as a person and as a leader. Pomegranate, red color, structure, and life. Lack of utilization of such qualities and the dying will to reach new heights will get us into the adulthood box of comfort and complacency of our own creation, putting an end to our creativity, motivation, and desire to live our lives passionately like one must do. Life is like a pomegranate. Despite all silliness, the chief must have loved it, or could have been mesmerized by this cluster of tightly organized seeds. Definitely in his world of simplicity, the so randomly structured food inspired him to make sense out of complexity of life, guiding him to question and explore other matters. The chief could not be a mischief anymore, as he had assumed bigger responsibilities. He planted the seeds of passion, courage, and determination, as well as integrity, discipline, and commitment in our hearts and minds at that young age, some 45 years ago, for us to have him harvest them now. The chief could not be a mischief anymore, as he had assumed bigger responsibilities. The chief then begged us to realize that whether parts of a structure elements or red color attributes in life, these qualities offer us the distinguished leadership we search for every day. Wouldn't you want to be that kid? My friends, when you want to get out of the adulthood box filled with spider web of restraint and rut, get fired up, or simply become the distinguished leader, just go back in time. Be the kid who's mesmerized by simple things in life. Find out what fruit fascinates you, what emotions they'll conjure up in you, and where it leads you. Remember to choose pomegranate today, for tomorrow is too late. Live the red color attributes in life: passion, courage, determination. Adhere to the structure elements of integrity, discipline, and commitment. People are so passionately searching for the chief in you, and you.